submit any writing materials from 3C? Ajang, a.k.a. also, Daryl. Where's your writing? You're supposed to submit it earlier. Today. But you haven't submit anything on the writing for 3C or 2C. Come on. Give me something. Nazwa juga belum submit writingnya ya. Okay. Hello? Nobody answer here? Okay. So, based on the time we already have, it is 4:03. Okay. So, shall we start with the lesson? By the way, writingnya ditunggu sore ini sebelum jam 7 malam. Okay? Alright. Thank you. Now let's begin with the first part, which is the vocabulary review. Do you notice that earlier in the lesson, I already mentioned some vocabularies from the flip materials, such as celestial, or in my case, celestial body, and then nebula, galaxy, and some more. Okay? Now, based on these two pictures, this one and this one, what astronomical wonders are they? This one? Let's say this is picture 1, this is picture 2. Which one interests you, and what have scientists done to explore the depth of space? Now, which one do you think this is? What do we call this space? And how about this one?
The first picture is solar system, and the second is black hole. Black hole.
Yes.
Evolution.
Okay. That's right. The first one is called the solar system. Why it is called solar system? Because it consists of a system or a series which the solar, in this case the sun or the star, as the center of the system itself. Okay. Now, in our solar system, our sun, which is also called yellow sun, is the center of our solar system, followed by some planets. Kalau nggak salah, Daryl mentioned about 8 planets and 1 dwarf planet, Pluto.
Yeah, one forgotten
including
planet.
Each of these planets satellites. Yeah, satellites. Not man-made satellites, but natural or original satellites. Satellite is like moon, but moon is only a name for our Earth satellites. Other planet, some of the planets actually have their own satellites. Not just one, but sometimes even 3 until 5 satellites. How cool is that? And talking about the third question, what have scientists done to explore the depth of space? What do you know about that? What do you know about that? Anybody? Gak ada yang tahu?
No.
Okay, have you heard about join space station on the outer layer of our atmosphere? That many countries have participated and attached their parts of their station up there in the space? Ada yang namanya space station, International Space Station. Have you heard that? No idea. Okay. Do you know Hubble telescope? Have you heard? Belum pernah dengar?
Yeah.
Okay. What is Hubble telescope for? What is it for? Anybody
To
know?
see a planet.
Hubble telescope is actually a very massive telescope put in space, pretty far from our orbits actually. The main function of this Hubble telescope, sorry, a Hubble telescope consists of two parts. The one in on Earth and another one on space, in space. So this part of the space, the telescope in the space, actually is used to watch the celestial bodies out there. Some of the countries even has a cooperation to launch what do you call it, a shuttle, or not shuttle, but actually a kind of like a space rocket, and send their what we call as drone to explore the space. Have you heard about that? No idea.
No idea.
Yes. Currently, the one who lead the mission are Japan, US, UK, and some European countries. Okay, ini siapa yang titik doang? Oh my god, ada orang yang cuma titik doang. Ini Al atau siapa ini? Al ya? Atau siapa ini? Alright. So there are actually several mission that some of the countries, the big countries in the world, actually has launched to explore the universe, just to find out what happened. For example, in Mars, they send mission to study Mars, right? Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
Ah,
Mars.
okay. So far, we only study the human only send some mission to the nearby planets, because our rockets so far can only reach that distant, uh, planet. Only that distant planet. Other than our solar system, it's rather hard to explore because of our limited knowledge of the space. Okay, but if you watch Star Trek or Star Trek, I think, there are many galaxies out there with different kind of solar system, and then yeah, who knows? There are lives out there, so you are not alone. I feel like I'm talking to an X-File expert. Now, let's talk about the vocab, okay? Just to check your understanding of the vocab, which I shared earlier, okay, in the group discussion. I'd like you to match the meaning of these 14 the 14 definition with its actual word, okay? And as usual, you are free to use your annotate function. Starting now. a.k.a. and Daryl, or siapa itu yang titik. If you are not rename your account, I have to remove you from this Zoom. Please rename your
Maybe
display
this one is
picture.
all. Maybe
Yeah,
this one is
Al.
all.
If you are Al, rename it into Al. Otherwise, I will have to remove you from
Mister,
the Zoom.
Mister,
Yeah.
I must hack your
Mister,
account.
that's me. I need to go to the bathroom. I still need to hear this meeting.
No,
So
the
I
not
add
your
someone
account.
else.
Why?
I'm gonna use my Bluetooth speaker, headphone so I can still hear this meeting. You need to go to the bathroom.
Okay. All right. Start.
Hmm. This
Najwa,
is too
Ajeng,
much.
use
I
your
cannot use
annotate
the
function.
annotate function.
Hmm. Is it not
But
used already?
I cannot.
Oh, really? Oh, hold on, hold
No,
on, hold
it's
on.
yeah, it's so
Uh,
strange.
I think I have to use a different. Maybe I should use this one instead. Sorry, I use.
Oh,
Okay, hold on. Let me put it into slideshow mode. Okay. The problem with this one. Oh, so you cannot use annotate function with the previous mode?
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I thought it's the same. Okay, please use your annotate function this time. Okay. Okay, come on. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, okay, okay. Don't mind if I drink some coffee here.
Yeah, of course.
Mm. What? That's hot. Okay. Be careful with number 7 or 8. Whoever made this mark, it's not clear. So you want to choose measurable or nebula. So I need to erase that. Sorry, I need to erase that because this one is confusing. Okay. All right. You know what's the difference between million and billion?
Million is juta in Indonesian and
7
billion,
digits, right?
yeah, 7 digits and billion it's uh
9 digit.
9.
Oh, 10 digit actually.
Oh, 10.
10 digit.
9 for the zeros.
Yeah, 9 zeros and one. At least start from 10 digit.
Our rating 3C is in the activity 5, right?
Which writing, Ajang? Type.
Writing for 3C. Writing
Uh,
for 3C is activity 4 or 5.
3C is about action. Ah, sorry about. What is 3C about? Oh, um, you're supposed to write about the child labor, right?
Okay.
You're supposed to child labor. The topic is child labor, and you can add more specific. For example, child labor in tobacco factory, and then add your own opinion. Child labor in tobacco factory be may apa may face hazardous health problem and death misalnya. Nah, baru dijelaskan tuh. Ada cause-nya apa, efeknya apa, seperti itu.
Oh, I see. Like that.
Tapi kan yang tobacco factory itu udah dibahas di sebelumnya. So you may want to add child labor in shoe factory misalnya. You can search the material for that. I mean the information about that on Google or in several websites, and then you just get the gist of the information and then make it into your own writing. Okay. And who is this? Ini apa ini? Maksudnya siapa ini? Who is this? Whose answer is
What?
this? Ini
Number
X-nya banyak
5?
banget. Ini, oh
Ah.
my goodness.
Oh, I
That's
don't know.
excessive, dude. Nah, jangan terlalu eksesif lah. Biasa-biasa aja. Oke. Okay. So we start from number 1. What do we call this? Number 1 is
Billion. A billion.
yes, that's right. It's billion. The correct answer is billion. Relating
You
to
have
the
a
sky,
billion.
stellar, astronomical. What do we call it?
Celestial.
Celestial. Right, celestial.
Celestial.
If you are a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, you
Yeah,
know that
maybe.
Star-Lord's father is actually one of the celestial.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You know?
No.
Ego. That's the name of the father. Ego. Ego is actually a celestial. Ego is actually a kind. It's a planet that can transform into humanoid form. According to the story, yeah. According to the story. Number 3. To find facts, substance, or place that no one had ever known about before.
Discover.
No. Actually,
Ah.
to explore. Okay, to find fact. Oh, sorry. To find fact? Is it to find fact? Sorry. Let me check. Oh, yeah, that's the correct one. Sorry, my mistake. It's not explore, but to discover. Okay, what's the difference between discover and explore? When you say discover, the fact is already there out there. Okay, you just need to find it. Where explore, you are not aware what you are looking for, and then you just need to find out more. Itu bedanya explore. You know something is out there, but you want to know more. Apa sih nih?
What? What's wrong? I don't know.
Don't kick me, enter the waiting room. Who's that?
Oh. Wakela, are you there?
Ini siapa sih nih?
I just allowed it in.
Your voice is so faint, I cannot hear you clearly.
Is it faint? Wait, what?
Your voice is not clear. You need either to make it.
Really?
Who is don't
Is it-
kick me?
Is it clear now?
Yes, it's clear now. Who's don't kick
It's
me? Is it
I
you?
I need to go to the bathroom again.
Again?
How,
In a sec.
Yes.
how often do you need to go to the bathroom?
5 times.
Maybe 600 times a day.
I have a condition.
Really?
Oh.
Interesting.
Yes.
Unless you have diabetic.
Not that.
Well, the only condition that I know need to go to the toilet several times a day is diabetic. Alright, maybe I don't know anything about that. Yeah, okay, now continue to number 4. What is far away here? Yes, if you answer, you're supposed to put a check mark, please. X is
Far
actually
from home.
wrong,
Mister,
referring to
Oh,
wrong
I think to cross the road.
answer.
Mister,
Oh, okay. So you are
who is that?
answering nearby.
Mister, who is that? Don't kick me. Who is that?
That's a.k.a.'s another account.
Oh, some
Okay.
anonymous account. Maybe
Yeah.
your avatar? Oh, hello, a.k.a. avatar. How are you
Yeah, I
doing?
don't know.
Hey, a.k.a. What do you mean
Okay.
you do
So
that?
far away is actually the meaning of
Far
far
away
away is
is
distant.
distant
The
because
opposite
nearby
is
is
nearby. The
nearby.
opposite of distant is actually nearby. And then to send or release something out or into the air, especially gas, light, or heat, is called emit. That's right. This is the correct
And
one. This is emit. Okay. Exhaust is actually to let go the gas. Usually combustion gas. Yeah, that's what we call it exhaust. Okay. In your car, if you have a car, your combustion waste let goes through the exhaust pipe. Number six, an extremely large group of stars or planet is called galaxy. Not this one.
galaxy.
Yeah, the name of the extremely large group of stars and planets is galaxy. Do you know that the sun is actually one of the star?
Mm, no.
No, really. The sun is actually part of the stars in our galaxy. So our solar system is basically a small dust compared to the big galaxy out there. You can imagine how big we are in this universe. Even smaller particle than dust.
And
Right.
guys, 2 weeks again, I will do the exam, yeah. Middle exam semester. Oof.
And this is important for us because
Maybe it's a bit little fighting with the written test, maybe.
oh,
Hopefully it's not.
okay.
Okay, I just ignore that.
Okay. Let's continue. A
Um,
very large in size or amount or in number. What do we call it? Whoever says blue here, blue line, this is the correct answer. The answer is massive, not measurable. Massive is actually another word for large or huge. So you can say massive amount of people, meaning that is a very large number of people. Massive. Next, a very large cloud of dust and gas that exists in outer space is called a nebula. That's right. We call it nebula. That's number 8. Yeah, number 8 is nebula. So,
Gas.
in one galaxy, there might several hundreds or maybe several thousands of nebula, and in one of these nebula, you can find some solar system. Okay, asteroid on the other hand is actually from the derived from the word aster or star. Aster is actually Latin word for star. So asteroid is actually a object that is similar to star, but it's not glowing or like that. But it is quite big, bigger than our satellites. Next, number 9, an exploding. Oh, it's just joining. An exploding star that produces an extremely bright light. This is what we call
Hmm.
supernova. Have you heard about the Big Bang theory? Not the sitcom, but the real Big Bang Theory
Yeah.
from
Big
your
Yeah, I
physics
Bang.
know.
class. Yeah, do you know that
From
the
history. From
universe,
history subject.
yeah, the
It's an
universe
explode.
is said is the result of a Big Bang. Big Bang is actually a collision or an explosion of a star that turns the particles, the smaller particles, to accrete and attract other particles and creates other celestial body. Create another star, another other planets, or even other maybe star or uh, celestial body like planets, satellites, something like that, including meteorites and asteroids. So the theory of Big Bang is actually derived from this theory. Okay, an explosion of two or maybe a single star that the result of those explosion is the creation of the universe. Okay, sounds overwhelmed ya. Kayaknya overwhelmed sekali hari ini. Next, able to be seen. What is able to be seen? The answer is correct, visible. While visible is actually bisa diandalkan atau something like that. Visible is profitable, something like that. Next, to live or to lie. Lie maksudnya berbaring gitu ya. To live in, ini harusnya to live ya, harusnya live ya, ini bukan lie tapi live. Live or to live
Leave.
in actually refer to reside. Remember earlier in the discussion, I used the word reside. Reside is actually tinggal atau berada. Okay. For example, our solar system resides in Milky Way galaxy. You notice that?
Yeah.
Nah,
A
itu
little.
maksudnya. Itu maksudnya yang tadi tuh. Okay. This reside. Nah, kalau dilanjutkan ada residence. Resident tuh kalau pakai ENT itu orang yang
Resident
tinggal.
Evil.
Berarti yang meninggal, yang tinggal di situ adalah sesuatu yang evil. Gitu maksudnya. Oke, tapi kalau residence pakai ENC is actually a housing complex. Just kidding. Residence is actually a group of houses that occupy a certain area. That's residence. And then number 12, an object whose gravity is so powerful that light and everything else around it are pulled into it. We call it the black hole. So if you tend to attract the people around you or anything that are around you, you can be nicknamed as black hole. But in my yeah, black hole. But in my school years, my friend and I called our friend who like to eat a lot as a black hole because he can eat a lot of food as if he doesn't have any bottom in his stomach. Nggak ada dasarnya itu perutnya. Next, extremely bright. Lawannya dim dong. This is not dim but actually luminous. Luminous is actually extremely bright. Dim is the opposite. Dim is actually redup. Number 14, the coming together of cohesion. Nobody answered this? The correct answer is accretion. Okay. So I'm gonna save it. And then let's clear it out and continue to the next slide. Hey, move to another slide. Now, this time we are going to listen to the pronunciation of the letter Y.
E.
That can be pronounced as E, can also be pronounced as I, such as in this
Sky.
word, or can be pronounced as y. Yeah,
Yellow.
just like in yellow. Okay, let's listen.
Yellow.
Okay. Oh, forgot to check this. Bentar, saya share sound dulu. And then make sure it is up stereo. Ready? Here we go.
Unit 4, Our Universe. Lesson 4A, Celestial Wonders. Pronunciation, Activity 2. Listen to the sounds of the letter Y.
Galaxy.
Nearby.
Yellow.
Okay. So the letter Y can be pronounced as E, such as in galaxy. Can also be pronounced as I, like in nearby. Can also be pronounced as Y, such like in the word yellow. Now, listen to the recording and repeat what you hear. Okay, let's listen again and repeat what you hear. Ready? Begin.
Unit 4, Our Universe. Lesson 4A, Celestial Wonders. Pronunciation, Activity 2. Listen to the sounds of the letter Y.
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Nearby.
Nearby.
Yellow.
Yellow. Can you repeat? Number 1, galaxy.
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 Nearby.
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 Not
Nearby.
nearby, but nearby.
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 And
Nearby.
then yellow.
Yellow.
Nearby.
Yellow. Yellow.
Yellow.
Okay.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Now, take a look at this list, which you can also find it on your book. Okay. And write down the name or the words here. There are 14 words that you are going to hear. And then check whether the letter Y is pronounced as E, I, or Y. Okay? Please listen carefully. I'm going to play only twice. Please write it on your book. Then you can write it on the screen. And then tick the right pronunciation. Ready? Here we go.
Pronunciation, Activity 4. Listen to the recording again. Write the words and tick in the right column. Practice pronouncing the words. 1,
Sky.
2,
Mystery.
3,
Spy.
4,
Butterfly.
5,
Yellow.
6,
Galaxy.
7,
Nearby.
8,
Discovery.
9,
Yet.
10,
Story.
11,
Myth.
12,
Firefly.
13,
Property.
14,
Gravity.
Okay? Let's play that one more time.
Pronunciation, Activity 4. Listen to the recording again. Write the words and tick in the right column. Practice pronouncing the words. 1,
Sky.
2,
Mystery.
3,
Spy.
4,
Butterfly.
5,
Yellow.
6,
Galaxy.
7,
Nearby.
8,
Discovery.
9,
Yet.
10,
Story.
11,
Myth.
12,
Firefly.
13,
Property.
14.
Gravity.
Okay. Have you note down all the words? Okay. Number 1 is
Yes, sister. Sky.
sky. Okay. Can anybody write it on the screen?
Yeah, my
Mister,
answer is number
I
one is
can,
sky too.
Yeah, okay. The right
Mister,
answer is sky.
I can write.
You cannot write. Daryl, can you help?
My, my, my laptop is hang. I can write.
Ah, okay.
Sorry.
If you're
Daryl,
not like,
can you type number 1?
whoever said the laptop is hang is a little bit sus.
If
Yeah.
it is hang, you cannot join us.
No,
Yes,
I
that's.
can use the annotate. I can use the annotate.
Oh,
You can check the viewpoint.
No,
View
I
point of
option.
view.
View option.
no, I mean I can click on the annotate. I can click on the annotate.
You don't use mouse?
I use.
Oh,
Oh.
wait, what? Oh, no, no, no.
Okay.
Okay lah,
Oh
no.
my
Okay. I know
god.
what. What?
View option. Click annotate. And then you can choose whether you want to type it or use your touchpad, or if you use advanced computer, you can use touch screen. That will be cool. Alright, so number 1 is sky. Okay. Nobody want to write it? Come on. Not there. On the list, please. Gak di situ juga kali. Aduh. Bagian 6. Nah, ini bapak-bapak ini. Here maksudnya tuh. You can write it over here. Number 1 is sky. How about number 2? What is number 2?
A mystery.
A mystery. Okay. Let me check that.
Is that real or you just don't know the word?
Actually, I know the word. Of course, I know the word. I pretend that I don't know. Apaan sih, a.k.a? Kenapa sih gambar-gambar kayak gitu? Aneh banget dah. Okay. You know how to write mystery, right? Mystery. Mr. Y, actually. I write it Mr. Y. Number 3 is? Number 3 is?
Number 3 is
Discover.
spy.
Spy. Okay.
Spy.
S-P-Y. Spy. Number 4.
Spicy.
Number 4 is a butterfly.
Yes, that's right. Wow. Butterfly. You know how to write butterfly, right? If you don't like to write, don't write anything at all, a.k.a. You just make it disturbing. Okay. Number 5, what is it?
Number 5 is yellow.
Yellow.
Nearby.
Number 6 is galaxy.
Okay.
Number 7 is nearby.
Galaxy.
Nearby.
And then number 7, sorry. Number 7 is nearby. And number 8.
Number 8 is discovery.
If you don't want to write, don't write anything, please. It's disturbing. Please. Okay. Number 8 is? Can you repeat? Number 8?
Discovery.
Discovery. Okay. Discovery. Number 9? Anybody? Number 9 is? if you don't want to write, then okay. All right. Number 10. What is number 10? Anybody? Oh, you're gone. Oh, I see. Number 10 is starry. Starry.
Wait, what?
Starry.
Starry?
Okay.
I
Here
think
you
it's
go.
crazy
No,
or
it's starry
scary
actually. Starry
or
from the word
spooky.
star. Star is noun. With you, if you add y, it becomes an adjective. Starry. In bahasa, it's like berbintang. Starry nights. Like that. Number 11. What is
Oh.
number 11?
Gravity. Gravity.
Number 11 is not gravity. That's actually number 14.
Firefly. Firefly.
Miss. Number 11 is actually miss. You know how to write miss? M
M-I-T-H.
Y T
M-Y-T-H.
H. That's right. That's miss. Number 12. How about number 12?
Firefly.
Yeah, that's correct. Firefly. All right. Oh, sorry. Fire. Fly. Okay. Number 14. 13.
Gravity.
13. 13.
Property.
Property. Right. Property. And last one is gravity.
Gravity.
Yeah, that's the right one. Gravity. Okay. Good. Now, I need you to tick the right pronunciation of Y, the letter Y, in these words. Okay, now please use your annotate function. Okay, please use your annotate function. Okay. Whoops. Okay, like that. Come on. Which one pronounced as E? Which one pronounced as I? And which one pronounced as Y?
Sky, the pronouns is I.
I. Which one? Can you use the annotate function, Ajeng? Bisa pakai annotate functionnya? No?
Sky.
Yang ini. E, I. Yes, a.k.a, what can I do for you? Yes, a.k.a, what can I do for you? Oh, it's a joke. Okay.
Oh, what? Joke?
He raised his hand, but later it's just a laugh. Okay.
Okay. Joke.
Right. You're supposed to use the annotate here. Okay. You can use checklist, for example. Sky, the Y is pronounced as I, right? So you're supposed to type it like this. Or you can use your stamps. If you have the choice for stamps, you can use that. Okay. How about number 2? Mystery. How is the letter Y pronounced here? S-E. Yes, S-E. Right. How about number 3? Spy?
Pie.
Yes, S-I. And then butterfly?
AI.
I. You're supposed to say it
I.
I.
Makela, what's wrong?
You. Okay.
Yeah. That's... That's a little bit sassy.
Yeah, that's quite disturbing actually.
Oh yeah, by the way, yellow is J.
Yes, not J, but it's actually pronounced as Y.
Yeah.
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 In the pronunciation, you say it as Y.
Yeah.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Unlike in bahasa. Bahasa is actually
As
what
well
you
as
see is what you
Akela.
get. Number 6, galaxy, obviously is a pronounced as
E.
E. Nearby,
I.
Nearby is
yeah,
I too.
okay. Seriously, what are you doing?
Maybe he's got...
Really? Are you okay? You don't have to... Oh god. Let's continue, shall we? Number 8, discovery. You're supposed to say the word and then you click the pronunciation. Otherwise, this is me doing the exercise. You're supposed to do that. You read the word and then you can tell which the right pronunciation this letter Y sounds like. Okay?
Discovered.
Uh-huh. Okay, what's that?
I.
What?
E.
How do you read this? How do
No,
you
no,
read this?
discovery is E, no?
Yes, that's right. You're supposed to check this. Okay. How about this one, number 9? How do you read this?
Number 9 is yet.
So, it's pronounced
So
as
is
yeah. Pronounced as yeah. Next, number 10. How does the letter Y pronounce? Sorry, how is the letter Y pronounced?
starry. So is I. No, is E.
Okay. Number 11. How do you read this?
Miss. So is yeah.
No, dong. E. Miss. Not miss.
Oh, E too.
Yeah? You don't pronounce it as miss, right? You pronounce it as miss. Not miss. Right? Do you pronounce this as miss or miss?
Miss.
Miss. So, it is pronounced as E, not as yeah. Number 12. How do you read
Firefly.
Mm-hmm.
The pronounce is I.
Yes.
I.
Number
Property.
13.
E.
Property is E. Right.
14.
Gravity. Same.
Gravity.
Is E too.
Yeah, that's
E.
right. So it is pronounced as E. Okay. Just like Sesame Street, yeah? Today's word is sponsored by... Okay, let's continue. This time, okay, let me clear the screen first. Okay, and continue to the next slide. Now, let's discuss.
So sorry guys, let's just ignore the cat sounds.
Yeah, I cannot hear
What
it anyway.
cat sound?
Yeah, nggak
I
kedengeran
cannot
juga
hear
sih.
anything.
Okay, now we are going to listen to a short talk. Okay, label the parts of the celestial object here. Okay, and here. Okay, maksudnya yang ini dengan yang ini. Using the option from the box. This box, I mean. Either the option are Black hole, quasar jet, or accretion disk. Okay, let's listen to the recording.
Listening. Activity 5. Listen to the short talk. Label the parts of the celestial object using the options from the box. Write the correct letters.
Good afternoon, friends. Today I'd like to talk about spectacular celestial objects called quasars. Let me start with what quasars are. According to scientists, quasars are massive and extremely luminous celestial objects with accretion disks spinning rapidly around their supermassive black holes. Quasars reside at the very center of massive galaxies. Discovered by astronomer Alan Sandage in the early 1960s through the radio telescopes of Mount Palomar, quasars stand for quasi-stellar radio sources. Now, let me tell you about the features of quasars. Firstly, they have supermassive black holes, each of which has the mass of millions to billions of times that of the Sun. Secondly, quasars have two opposed jets of radiation called quasar jets, containing charged particles as a result of the accretion disk's activities. Next, they emit radio waves, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, and gamma rays. Finally, scientists say they have this luminosity which is hundreds of times brighter than their host galaxies. Well, I think that's all for now about quasars. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Is that enough, or would you like to listen again? Hello? Is that enough, or you want to listen again?
Maybe listen again.
Okay. Wish granted.
Listening. Activity 5. Listen to the short talk. Label the parts of the celestial object using the options from the box. Write the correct letters.
Good afternoon, friends. Today I'd like to talk about spectacular celestial objects called quasars. Let me start with what quasars are. According to scientists, quasars are massive and extremely luminous celestial objects with accretion disks spinning rapidly around their supermassive black holes. Quasars reside at the very center of massive
Sorry.
galaxies. Discovered by astronomer Alan Sandage in the early 1960s through the radio telescopes of Mount Palomar, quasars stand for quasi-stellar radio sources. Now, let me tell you about the features of quasars. Firstly, they have supermassive black holes, each of which has the mass of millions to billions of times that of the Sun. Secondly, quasars have two opposed jets of radiation called quasar jets, containing charged particles as a result of the accretion disk's activities. Next, they emit radio waves, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, and gamma rays. Finally, scientists say they have this luminosity which is hundreds of times brighter than their host galaxies. Well, I think that's all for now about quasars. Thank you for listening.
Okay, now based on the description you hear from the recording, you need to decide. There are three things that you need to define. The first one is over here, yeah. Second and third. First,
Ah,
second, and third. The first
First
is
is a black hole.
this one,
I cannot see.
this one. Over here. Okay, hold on.
Oh,
Let me put an arrow on it. Okay. This one,
Um,
this one,
oh,
and this one. This related to this. This one related to this center over here, and this one related to this. So,
what
what
does it
do we
mean?
call number one? I mean this one, yeah? Here, what do we call it? Is it A, black hole, B, quasar jet, or C, the accretion disk?
C.
This one? Actually? So you think it is
Number one is a
accretion disk?
black hole. I hear.
Black hole. You know why it is called black hole?
Because it's black.
Because it is black. So it is not black. So you cannot
It's
call it
because
black hole.
have a big gravity.
a.k.a, if you are not
a.k.a,
joining
I'm
the
not racist.
discussion, if you're not joining the discussion, you cannot annotate anything, please. Okay, we are trying to study here. If you are not interested in joining the discussion, please don't write anything. Okay? You're only disturbing us here. Come on. Okay, ayo. So this number one. Okay, let's put it here as number one. Okay, this one is number two, and this one is number three. So which do you think these are? So I will not say anything yet, but please write your own answer, or you can write it here. If you want to write your answer below here, for example, 1A, 2B, 3C is okay. Please try it. Okay, if you cannot write it on the screen, you can write the chat, but send it to everyone, not just me. Okay, come on, try. Come on. Oh, there's another. There's a message here. Number one is B. Oh my goodness. Number one is B according to Ajang. Number one is B. Okay. Number two. Number two. Number two. Oh, you think number two is A? Okay, Daryl. Number two is A. Okay. Number three. Three A. Oh, according to Daryl, is 3C. Well, everyone else, Najwa, do you agree?
Yes, I'm agreeing.
Agree with what? With Ajeng, with Daryl, with a.k.a. there?
I agree with Daryl.
Okay. How about Ajeng? Do you agree with Ajeng that number one is actually B, quasar jet? Yes? No? Okay. Actually, what Ajeng wrote, number one is actually true. It's B, it's quasar jet. Okay, let me draw the line here. Okay. Hold on. Number one, the correct answer is actually B. That's, oh, sorry. That's supposed to be reversed, yeah. Number one is quasar jet. Number two is actually black hole. This is number two. And number three, this one is accretion disk. So, Ajeng and Daryl's answer, including siapa tadi yang nulis di sini, is also correct. Ya, number three is actually C. Betul. So, this one is the center. In the center is what we call as black hole. This whole thing, if you see this as a whole picture, this is what we call the quasar. This is the quasar. The quasar consists of the black hole in the center, quasar jet that propel something in both direction, up and above, up and below here, and also there's a disk that attracts anything surround this quasar, which is what we call accretion disk. So this is what we call quasar. Okay, so all your answers are actually correct. Okay, let's continue. Now let's actually what we are going to do next is a discussion. Yeah, you're going to use your critical think. Let's say, listen to your teacher saying some statement about the talk. Oh dear God. Seriously? Okay. Say whether it is true or false. Ready? Here we go. Ace.
Listening. Activity 7. Listen to the talk again.
Oh, sorry. So, number 1. Quasar stands for quasi-stellar radio source. True or false?
True.
Yes, that's correct. So you listen correctly there. Yeah, quasar is actually stands for quasi-stellar radio source. Next, number 2.
Mister.
According to scientists, yes, a.k.a, what do you want to say?
Still showing the vocabulary page.
That will be found in activity 1 of your book.
Have to bring our book.
Yeah, you are at home, right?
Yeah.
No,
I'm here. He's at home right now.
not at home.
You can check your phone. It is also found in your phone on your group.
Really?
Yes, that's why you need to join pre-Zoom session.
Okay.
We already discussed this, okay? So, according to the scientists, a quasar exists in a galaxy with a supermassive black hole in it. Is it true or false?
It's false.
The answer is actually it's true. So,
Okay.
unless the galaxy has a big hole in it, okay, the galaxy may not have a quasar. But if it is massive or supermassive, the galaxy may contain one or several black holes in it. Okay, next, statement number 3. A supermassive black hole has much less mass.
Mister, what page?
Daryl, can you help me? I don't bring my book with me.
You don't bring your book.
Yeah, I don't have book. I use my phone.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
I don't get the book. For your information, the teachers of Leah doesn't get paper book anymore. Okay,
What?
we got
Why?
PDF. Instead, we got PDF. So if you ask me what page is it, well, your version and my version is quite different.
Yeah. Quite
Yeah.
different.
So
What
please
is-
help. What page is it on the vocabulary activity 1 earlier, Daryl?
46.
46. Thank you, Daryl. Okay, so a supermassive black hole has much less mass than the sun. Do you still remember? Which one is it? Is it the same as the sun or less mass than the sun or even 10 times than the sun? Now, this statement says less mass than the sun. It for the note, it's our sun, yeah. I mean, in our solar system, yeah. Okay. The answer is number 3. Is it true or false? A supermassive black hole has much less mass than the sun. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
What page? I don't found it.
It can be found in the recording earlier.
There's nothing.
Mm-hmm. You're supposed to listen to that earlier. Okay, now to help you, I'm gonna play the recording one more time. So listen.
Complete the sentences given by your teacher with no more than 3 words.
Okay, that's
Good
example.
afternoon, friends. Today I'd like to talk about spectacular celestial objects called quasars. Let me start with what quasars are. According to scientists, quasars are massive and extremely luminous celestial objects with accretion disks spinning rapidly around their supermassive black holes. Quasars reside at the very center of massive galaxies. Discovered by astronomer Alan Sandage in the early 1960s through the radio telescopes of Mount Palomar, quasars stand for quasi-stellar radio sources. Now, let me tell you about the features of quasars. Firstly, they have supermassive black holes, each of which has the mass of millions to billions of times that of the Sun. Secondly, quasars have two opposed jets of radiation called quasar jets, containing charged particles as a result of the accretion disk's activities. Next, they emit radio waves, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, and gamma rays. Finally, scientists say they have this luminosity, which is hundreds of times brighter than their host galaxies. Well, I think that's all for now about quasars. Thank you for listening.
Okay, so now you listen. Can you guess which one is the third statement is? True or false? A supermassive black hole has much less mass than the sun. True or false?
It's false.
False. The answer is millions of times of our sun. Million times of mass than our sun. Yeah. Number 4.
Shut false.
Yeah. I already said yes. That's the correct answer. I explained that the supermassive black hole actually has millions time of mass than the sun.
Okay, so was I wrong?
No, it is true. False. I mean, your answer is false. Correct. If you answer
So
false,
my
that
answer
is
is
correct.
false.
Yes, I already say it is the correct answer.
So I'm wrong.
No, you are correct. Hiya.
Oh, so the answer is correct.
Really? You are teasing me.
No, I'm not.
Gosh. Okay, I'm gonna write something here. Okay. So this one is true. This one is...
Mister, can you stop share screen for a moment? I think it freeze.
Yeah, I know. It's true.
So why did you continue share screen?
Number 3 is false. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Alright. So you see the
screen
answer?
is frozen.
Okay.
I'm still saying the vocabulary one. Choose. Choose. the correct words for the definition.
Is that correct, Daryl? Or anybody else? Is it only you see the first slide? Oh dear Lord. How about now? Okay, nobody answered. Great.
4. Number 1.
Still number 1.
Still number 1? Thought we were on number 3.
Okay, I'm gonna use a different.
Right. I think you're lagging.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I can't hear you. I can't hear you for the past 5 minutes. 5 seconds.
Because I speak so softly. Can you see the slide?
Nope. It's still on the vocabulary. Choose the correct words for the definition.
Okay. How about now?
It's still the same.
Okay.
Wait. But I think a little bit already changed.
It's not changing.
Sorry, can you hear me? It
How about
can
now?
move
Is it on my screen? It's already activity 2 and 3 and 4.
Yes,
the pronunciation
I
earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
I said now it changed.
How about
Yeah,
now?
but you're... Yeah.
Okay.
It changed.
How about now?
It changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So now you can answer. How about number 1? Is it true or false?
It's false.
Number 1 is true or false?
True.
True. Number 2, is it true or false?
It's false.
According to scientists, a quasar exists in galaxy with a supermassive black
True.
hole in it. Actually, it is true.
True.
Number 3, a supermassive black hole has much less mass than the sun.
It's false.
False. Okay, good. Number 4, the accretion disk move around the black holes very fast.
It's true.
True. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Now it's getting interesting. There are more than 2 quasar jets.
I don't know. Ask Daryl.
You can see from the picture on your book. Oh, you don't have the book with you.
False.
Yes, I'm at Mars. I don't have my book.
Okay.
What?
Yes.
Wait.
Where are
You're
you now
just kidding,
exactly,
bro.
a.k.a.? Where are you now exactly?
I'm with the colony.
Are you on drugs something?
I'm with my cat.
Yeah, maybe. It's
So you are not
clearly...
at home?
No. Yes, I don't know.
Okay lah, stop kidding.
Oh, there's my cat. Hello.
Okay lah, we're on a serious thing.
Yes.
Just open your camera so we can make sure your condition right now.
Okay, I'll open the camera.
I'm gross.
Is it opening yet?
Oh yes, it's opening yet. Amazing.
There's an Elmo burning and a girl. And it's
Okay.
What?
Oh, there you are. It's not showing anything. What?
Can we go back to the
Hey,
lesson?
mister.
Okay, can we go back to the lesson? So I'm not,
Okay.
we don't have much time here. Okay, according to the picture on activity 4, also activity 5 earlier, you can see
It's
there
only
are
have one.
2 jets, right? You can
Yeah.
see there are 2 jets. So if the statement is there are more than 2 quasar jets, is it true or false?
False.
False, thank you. Okay, number 7. Quasars produce radio signals.
It's true.
Yeah, true.
Yes, that's actually correct. We have X-rays, we have gamma, we have what about this? Okay, let me check the answer here.
Yeah, but we don't have
Uh,
UV light.
yeah, UV also, and gamma rays, and also emit radio waves, gitu ya. So not only those rays, but also radio waves or radio signals. Okay. And last one, number 8. The brightness of quasar is much more than that of their host galaxy. The brightness of quasars is much more than that of their host galaxies, according to the uh, recording we hear. Scientists say that they have luminosity which is hundreds of times brighter than their host galaxy. So the answer is true. The answer is true. Okay. Now let's listen and complete what you can say about this statement. You can complete these statements. You can write it on the chat because for this slide, the annotate function doesn't work here. Okay, let's listen again and write down your answer on the chat. Okay. Oh, ini nggak bisa.
Hello?
Oh dear Lord, I cannot open it over here. Okay.
Is it broken?
No.
Why doesn't it work? And now the screen is frozen again.
Oh yeah. How about now?
I don't know. It's still object, and it's frozen. Definitely frozen. What is happening with the share screen?
Is something wrong with your receiver? Your Wi-Fi maybe has a problem there.
I don't know.
I still can hear your voice, so my Wi-Fi is okay.
My Wi-Fi is okay because I can hear everyone's voice.
Okay. So, how about the others? Can you hear us? Can you see the screen? On my screen is already activity 7.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so let's continue. Let's listen and complete these sentences with 3 words related to this sentence. Okay?
Do we need to?
Listening. Activity 7. Listen to the talk again. Complete the sentences given by your teacher with no more than 3 words.
Good afternoon, friends. Today I'd like to talk about spectacular celestial objects called quasars. Let me start with what quasars are. According to scientists, quasars are massive and extremely luminous celestial objects with accretion disks spinning rapidly around their supermassive black holes. Quasars reside at the very center of massive galaxies. Discovered by astronomer Alan Sandage in the early 1960s through the radio telescopes of Mount Palomar, quasars stand for quasi-stellar radio sources. Now, let me tell you about the features of quasars. Firstly, they have supermassive black holes, each of which has the mass of millions to billions of times that of the Sun. Secondly, quasars have 2 opposed jets of radiation called quasar jets, containing
Okay, thanks Ajeng.
Stop.
Continue. Hold on.
charged particles as a result of the accretion disk's activities. Next, they emit radio waves, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, and gamma rays. Finally, scientists say they have this luminosity which is hundreds of times brighter than their host galaxies. Well, I think that's all for now about quasars. Thank you for listening.
Okay, now you can write your answer. The annotate function is available for you now.
It's not available for me. What?
Yeah, because I turned it off.
What?
Okay, so now everyone can use their annotate function. Please write your answer on the screen, or if you cannot use your annotate, you can type your answer on the chat. Try.
Annotate.
Okay. Number 1. Quasars are massive and extremely luminous celestial objects with accretion disk, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. There are 3 words you can describe the accretion disk.
The what?
The accretion disks.
Accretion.
You can check
That
from
is
the
CD.
screen. Yeah,
That is
accretion disk. They're supermassive black holes. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. They're supermassive black holes. Okay, start your answer. Write your answer now. And then number 2, we have quasars. Quasar stands for radio sources.
Mister, it's stuck again.
Because it is on activity 7. On the screen is activity 7.
But I cannot see anything on the screen. I can't see the answer.
Yeah. Meaning that it's loading in your screen.
It's not.
Okay, let me read it to you. Okay. Quasar are, number 1. Quasar are massive and extremely luminous celestial objects with accretion disk. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. They're supermassive black holes.
I think it's because you turned off the annotate function.
No, I actually enabled the annotate function.
No, like yet. The messing with the annotate function. It messes with the share screen.
No,
Yes. Maybe.
no.
It definitely is because it starts to freaks out when you disable the annotate
Really?
function. Yes, that's my
Hold on.
theory.
Okay, hold on, hold on.
Why is the day so quiet?
Ajeng already write spinning rapidly. That's half correct, yeah, because you need 3 words. Spinning rapidly around. You need to the 3rd word around. That's the correct word.
When you replay the audio, is that a no or a yes?
I'm froze.
You are frozen. Your screen, your video is frozen.
Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
What is that sound?
I need to check the sound first.
Oh my god.
Listening. Activity 7. Listen to the talk again. Complete the sentences given by your teacher with no more than 3 words.
Good afternoon, friends. Today I'd like to talk about spectacular celestial objects called quasars. Let me start with what quasars are. According to scientists, quasars are massive and extremely luminous celestial objects with accretion disks spinning rapidly around their supermassive black holes.
Wait, is that a double N in spinning? Is it? Oh. There you go.
Number 2.
Quasars reside at the very center of massive galaxies. Discovered by astronomer Alan Sandage in the early 1960s through the radio telescopes of Mount Palomar, quasars stand for quasi-stellar radio sources. Now, let me
Quasar stands for? Hey guys, where are you guys? Where are you? Are you missing or something?
How do you spell quasis?
Daryl, Al, Ajeng, Najwa, can you hear me? Can you write your answer on the chat,
I
please?
can hear.
Yeah, please write down your answer on the chat. I feel like I'm teaching only one student here. Nobody responds. Yeah?
Your voice is like, your
Quiet
voice
for
is
the past
error.
5 minutes.
Your voice is error.
Yes,
Oh.
I can only see the video.
Okay, how about now?
Still,
Mister?
still error.
Mister?
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah.
Is
Oh dear Lord.
lagging again? Daryl? Can you
Check.
hear Mr. Roni?
Check.
Hello? God, I'm tired for this.
Oh, you really?
Daryl? Daryl, you
What?
there? Can you hear
Yeah,
Mr.
what?
Roni? It's been quiet. Oh, write your answer here. Okay.
If you cannot write it on the screen, you can write it on the chat.
I don't know how to write quasis. How to write quasis. I'm gonna Google it. Quasis interstellar radio. I don't know how to write quasis. How do you write quasis? Quasis. And that's not how to write this. Quasi. Yeah. Or radio. There you go. Yeah. Why is there an octopus?
tell you about the features of quasars. Firstly, they have supermassive black holes, each of which has the mass of millions to billions of times that of the Sun. Secondly, quasars have two opposed jets of radiation called quasar jets, containing charged particles as a result of the accretion disk's activities. Next, they emit radio waves, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, and gamma rays. Finally, scientists say they have this luminosity, which is hundreds of times brighter than their host galaxies. Well, I think that's all for now about quasars. Thank you for listening.
Okay, number 3. The supermassive black hole have the mass millions to billions of times than that of the sun.
Okay.
Than that of
Is there
the
anyone talking?
sun.
Arrow? And why is it so quiet? It's like I'm the only one talking here.
The last. Oh.
Daryl, can you hear me?
Oh, what now? What now? If you
Can you hear
want try
me?
to nine again.
Am I talking to myself?
What? I'm already talking, a.k.a.
Oh, really? And can you hear me?
Yes, of course. I can hear you.
Okay, good. Making sure I'm not crazy. And again, I'm already am. so quiet. Feels like a ghost town.
Number 4.
Okay, number 4.
What's number 4, Daryl?
So,
Daryl.
Quasars
jets.
have.
Is number 4 emit radio waves?
Not yet. Not exactly.
That's number 5. That's number 5, okay?
5?
Emit radio wave is number 5.
Okay,
Number
well,
4
there's
have
something
blah
before
blah
4.
blah jet. The answer is
Ajeng said jet of radius. See, what is that? Daryl, why did you turn on your camera?
okay.
Daryl, can you speak for God's sake?
Yeah. Why? Oh,
I
and the
thought
last number is
Last one. Quasar have
it's
the
100
brightness that is
100
of.
times of hundreds of times.
Yeah, that's right. 100 times brighter than the sun, than their
What
host
number is that?
galaxy. Right.
Daryl,
You
what
can
number
write
is that?
here hundreds.
Daryl,
Yeah, what,
what
a.k.a?
number is that? It's quiet.
What, please? I'm already talking, right, mister?
Yep.
Mister, what that? I'm not a mister.
No, I'm talking about to Mr. Roni. Okay.
Mr. Roni speaks?
Yeah,
Quiet all
of
this
course.
time. It's
What
been
happened to
quiet all
you?
this time. What? What is wrong with the internet?
Okay, number 6,
I
the
think
correct answer is 100 times brighter
brighter.
than their
100
host
times
galaxy. So number 1,
brighter than
the
their
correct answer is,
host.
let me review the answer, spinning rapidly around the supermassive black holes,
So is it
correct?
done yet?
Yeah?
Number 2,
So is
quasar
it done
stands
yet,
for
Daryl?
quasi-stellar
Quasi-stellar
radio
radio.
sources. Jadi kuanya itu adalah quasi, seh-nya ini adalah stellar, R-nya adalah radio, S-nya yang terakhir itu adalah sources. And then number
Mr.
3, the
Roni offline?
supermassive black holes have the mass millions or 2 billions of time as massive as the sun. And number 4, quasar have two opposed jet. Karena it's actually like this, right?
Yeah.
I gave up.
And last one, nah ini betul. Number 5, quasar also emit radio waves. That's one. X-ray and light waves, including gamma ray ya kalau tadi ya. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And last one, 100 times brighter than the sun. Sorry, their host galaxy. Okay. All right, I'm gonna close that. And today, next activity is supposed to be group work, but it seems that we
But I
don't
think we
have.
need to. But I
Yeah,
think it just discussed right now.
No, is this a group?
Yeah.
Because it's our opinion, okay?
Yeah.
Work in groups of 3 or 4.
Okay,
No.
but seems it seems that nobody talk more than 3 today. So let's talk in the main session instead of going to a breakout room. Question number 1.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the quasar? Do you find them interesting celestial object or not?
What celestial object interests you more? Why are you talking to yourself, Daryl?
What?
You're talking to yourself.
Oh, delay.
Oh, a.k.a. is delay.
Delay? What?
Yeah, I think your voice is delayed.
It's been you only the one that's talking here. Everyone has been quiet.
No, I talk too.
Wait, is Al gone? No, Al's still here.
Okay, guys, time's up. Come on. If you don't talk now, it's no use to further discuss here. Kalau nggak mau ngobrol, nggak mau ngomong, kita selesaikan saja lessonnya karena time-nya juga waktunya udah habis juga ya.
Okay.
What do you think of the
Finally, someone
quasars?
talk. It's been a millennia.
Okay, so maybe we can discuss this in earlier for next session, yeah, before the real
Thursday.
session starts. See you on Thursday.
Thursday. Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Mister. Bye.
Thank you.
Hey,
Bye.
goodbye. I can
Bye.
finally hear you.